peace, healing, and love. It's your soul sister, Michaela, and this is My Life on Earth. Not his story, but her story. Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this video is a long-awaited video for myself. You know what I'm saying? We got the vibes and the energy right. I had to make sure the energy was right for this video. You know what I'm saying? We got the candles going. Always got the smoke going. I am absolutely loving this angle. Let's get to it. This video is going to be me sharing my experience on spirituality, my journey, and just becoming spiritually conscious and awakening as I move along my journey. It was really important for me to do this video, and it honestly took me a while to do this video, guys, like a while because of the way I wanted to set the video up. In this video, one thing I really want to share with you guys is highlights from the moment I was conceived till now, on how you embark on a spiritual journey the moment you enter this world. The second you are born into this world, you are on a spiritual journey, okay? Because you decided to come back to this planet and you picked your family and you already pre-wrote out what you are willing to do for the collective and living your life's purpose. So with that being said, let's move it along. I do have notes. I don't want to be so ready, so I'm not gonna like read it word from word, but I did have to make notes because y'all, this is from like the moment I was conceived until now. So imagine the points that I need to go over, and I'm not going to explain, like, I'm not going to tell my whole entire life, you know, just put everything on but I do just believe in being genuine and authentic and just talking about spirituality and talking about my journey and just sharing different things with you guys. I feel like it's important for me to explain and shed light on and share highlights of my life from the moment I entered this world up until now, through my first awakening, and just, you know, continuing and now wanting to share that knowledge with people and really wanting to help people along their journey. So we're going to start off with my childhood. I am 22 years old, so we're going to start off from, you know, just me being a kid and just being a child, and we're just going to make our way through until now. This is going to be a part video. This is going to be a I'm not sure how many parts, but this is going to be like a parted video. So this is only part 1. So let's talk about my childhood. Because I really want it to flow. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't want to miss anything. Because like the reason why it took me so long to make this video, y'all, like literally trying to, like, as I awakened, I realized, like, okay, certain things would trigger, like, memories from the past, that, because I remember a lot of things. Memories from the past that's like, oh, you know, I understand the meaning of it now. So that's partly why I'm sharing it with you guys. So let's start off with me being in the womb, okay? From the moment I was conceived and in the womb, my mom was approached by what she called at the time, what we call prophets. She said that she got approached by, you know, a few prophets, probably like 2 or 3, that basically, you know, like just, you know, started, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically them, you know, crossing paths with her and her carrying me. You know, it was just like, oh, do you know, like, what you're carrying? Like, just basically they explained to her how, you know, I'm very gifted and people are not going to understand me, and people are going to be, you know, out to get me because they don't understand me, and because, you know, I'm going to be doing things differently, and just me being the energetic being that I am, that's going to have entities constantly trying to target me and want to defeat me. So along with the prophets telling her that, of course, we interact with a couple entities, you know, right after that, that literally like showed their true form in their face, and just, you don't even know my mom, and you just come across her in the store and you just want to put your hand on her stomach. So you guys, do not let anyone just randomly touch your stomach, because you never know who they are, what energy they carry, and what their full intention is, okay? So yeah, right after, you know, stuff like that happened. So let's fast forward to when I was born, you guys. First, I do want to start off, another thing I do want to say is that I was considered a rainbow baby, I believe. Rainbow baby or a miracle baby. I think it's a rainbow baby. My mom had quite a few miscarriages before me. So I was kind of the child that kind of made it. And, you know, it was traumatic to the point where she wasn't really sure that I was going to make it, up to the point I was like about to be born, and she didn't buy any clothes for me or anything because she just didn't want to be let down again with the hurt and the trauma of losing another child. But I am here, guys. So let's move on from just growing up. I used to get a lot of ear infections when I was younger, like from the ringing in my ears. But now I understand now with frequencies, and that I'm very clairaudient. So like I get a lot of my messages and my downloads, you know, through music, through sounds, through frequencies, through talking. I literally hear talking and communication and stuff of that sort. So I used to get ear infections bad when I was younger. I used to get ear infections bad, throat infections. I mean, like strep throat and stuff like that. And then I'm a Virgo. I prominently operate out of my throat chakra. So like, you know, once you just like put two and two together, you just be like, So although you can physically be sick in your vessel, I used to get sick. I had flu, I had pneumonia. Like I used to get sick, but I truly believe that 50% of my sickness was, you know, physically affected, you know, from my vessel. But I truly believe that some of my sicknesses were literally caused from spiritual sicknesses, which manifested in a physical manner, vessel. So, you know, aside of me always getting sick and getting air infections and stuff like that. Oh, see, this is why I made notes, because I almost passed it. I'm not passing anything. Just know that everything I'm speaking about right now is literally my childhood. So let's just keep that in mind. So as a baby, as a child, toddler, baby, whatever you want to call it, I was speaking very, very early, like very early, very clear and coherent to communication. Okay. So I talked to spirits when I was younger. Like I would talk, you know, I was that child that would talk and communicate with spirits and, you know, carouse with them, or, you know, like play with them or whatever. And my mom was just like, you know, who are you talking to? And I'm like, the girl over there. Anything I'm telling you guys as well as stories that I was told about myself. You know, I'll just be like, you know, the lady over there, stuff like that. So I've lived in places, you know, that had energies and entities living in there, and they have interacted with me, being that I feel like a child is at its purest form when it's born. So it's like mostly connected, I feel. So it's easier for them to pick up on things or really know certain things at a young age because they're connected and they're pure. You see what I'm saying? So I talk to spirits or whatever, guys, and it was to a point where, you know, in my family, we are all aware. We was already aware. Like, keep in mind, I'm talking up now. I'm talking from like, I'm telling stories from, I'm going to say things from the perspective of my mom telling me experiencing it, and me like putting them together from now until then. So like we've always, growing up, I realized we've always talked about like us having gifts in my family, is my mom's side of the family, you know, me having gifts and my grandmother having gifts and stuff like that. So it wasn't like, you know, shocking to like, you know, stuff like that, to hear things like that, or it was nothing too bad, but my mom was not used to it. However, so it got to a point where she really didn't really know how to interact or what to do, to where like, you know, she told my grandma, like, listen, you know how to deal with this a little bit better. Maybe you should watch her. But my grandma told her, no, you are equipped for this. You know what I'm saying? This is a part of your journey. So we're here. But that's how it really was, y'all. That's how real I was communicating with spirits on a day-to-day basis. I would say I saw spirits like vividly. I would say I saw spirits up until like 6th grade of middle school, because after that I feel like that's when you get tainted and you like start thinking about a lot of stuff, and you know, your vibration is all over the place because, you know, you're dealing with school and life and other kids and, you know, beings. So that's just what it was. There is partially a reason why I stopped seeing spirits, but I'm not going to share that with you guys. But yeah, I seen them very vivid, like literally my life up until 6th grade. Then it kind of got fadey, and it would just be depending on where I go or who I'm around, or, you know, if they wanted to interact with me is when I would see them. But it got pretty desolate from, I would say, like middle school to about the end of high school. I would definitely say that. When I was younger, me and my sister actually shared a dream together. We both was there, and we both, you know, saw my grandmother. So like till this day, we both literally remember being in a dream together, and we are always in each other's dreams every once in a while. My mom had a broken jaw, and she was crying inside of the bathroom. And you know when parents think they hiding something from kids, but like I said, kids are very intuitive, and they're in tune, and they're connected. Okay. My mom was in the bathroom crying. I'm just like, Mom, you know, you're okay. She's like, yeah, I'm okay. And I knew she wasn't. And I literally put my hand to her face And I told her that everything was going to be okay. And literally the next day, her jaw stopped hurting. And I think it broke back in place because it was broken out of place, actually. And I think it broke back in place. So, natural born healer, guys. I was going to get to that, but I mean, that's just physical proof right there. This is a child. I don't have no knowledge. Listen, believe what you want to believe, but I cannot make none of this shit up. Okay? Literally, I cannot make this up. I'm only sharing my experiences. This is not to make you believe in me, this is just me being genuine and sharing my experience so you have a little more light on my journey and why I'm sharing and, you know, just the reason I'm sharing some of the things I shared. I astral projected when I was younger a lot. I remember the last time I astral projected like heavily. I remember we was living with my dad and, you know, leave it at that. Yeah, we was living with my dad and like I astral projected. I literally watched myself sleep that night and just was thinking. So I've done it all, guys. I've always been deeply connected to my mom's emotion. I mean, obviously you're inside of your mom, whatever, but like I feel very deeply like I'm an empath. I don't want to get too specific on titles and names like that because it's a journey we're all learning, but there's things I am aware of and I do know. And when it comes to my mom, I feel really, really deeply when it comes to her emotions. Like I could be somewhere else and talking to somebody, then I just start, here comes the waterworks. And I'm just like, just give me a minute. And then it channels on to where the emotion is coming from. And when I was younger, I used to get a lot of channel emotions from her. Now I don't because I'm very protective of my energy and what I allow into my space. But yes. I actually lived in a haunted house at one point, and this was like from kindergarten to like 4th grade. We lived in this house. It was like a family, you know, mom, dad, kids. We was a family and we lived in this house, but the house was haunted and the previous owner, it was a male. He killed, I think he killed his wife and his daughter and then killed himself after that. But you know, how things go. My parents wasn't aware of that because the way we are set up, my mom would have definitely not moved in there had we had known that because we are, you know, we had some awareness to what it is. So with that being said, let's just say that I literally had, you know, an entity really like prey on me. And I really feel like he preyed on me because I was a young girl and he knew that I could feel and I could see him. Like I'm talking face to face one time. Like I could literally go through all the stories, but I came face to face with him. I used to see him coming in the windows every single night at 3 a.m. I would wake up screaming, calling my mom's name. Mom. I remember the tone of just saying it. You know, sometimes it'd be mom and dad. It just depends. And like, you know, that's something she had to do with for a while, like really running in my room to my rescue when I would be getting harassed by this entity. And there was the little girl actually was present as well. And me and her interacted on, you know, on occasions. And when we moved out of the house, when my mom and my dad separated and we moved out of the house, we would still, you know, come to the neighborhood to, you know, ride the bus and stuff so we can go to school. You know, let's not break the situation up so fast. So we would still go to school in that neighborhood. So our mom would drop us off at my dad's house and we would get on the bus. One day we was getting on the bus and I was sitting there and I just started feeling so emotional. So emotional. I was crying. I was like really trying to feel out like what is happening right now? Like what is happening to me? And I visually saw that I don't even like now just still trying to put it in words now is just like worst case, like the best way to explain it, like in our room, me and my sister's room, because we shared room, me and my sister's room, I seen the little girl get surrounded by dark entities and they basically consumed her. And I saw that and I felt that without even being inside the room or the house. I was on the bus and I'm literally just like seeing all this happening. So that was one thing that was like really like, you know, eye-opening for me being that young, like, wow, that really happened to me. But to really sum up my childhood too is like, you know, growing up and feeling, you know, like you're the black sheep of the family or feeling like sometimes you're alone, even when you're around people, you know, having, I had like, I wouldn't say issues, but like maybe for me, I was very trusting when it came to friendships and things. So like I went through a lot of trials and tribulations when it came to friends, family. Like you know, I've been through a good bit of things as we all have. So, you know, that's something that kind of really sparked me. I feel like really wanting to get to know myself. I wouldn't really say the awakening, but really wanting to get to know myself because I'm just like, I've always been surrounded by people. Like whenever there be family issues, you know, you run to your friends and you have your friends because they're your family when your family's not your family. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like they do you wrong and it's like, okay, now I only have my family. So just going through those type of situations, you know, really had me just look at relationships in different perspective when I was young. I was actually in a 7-year karmic relationship in high school. So fast forward to me graduating, class of 2018. Fast forward to me graduating, I literally manifested me going to college, guys. Now, I already know I want to go to college or whatever. Not really, I was never like a big, like, whatever the hype was when I was young, I really was never like I just knew that one thing that was really important to me when I was a kid is making my parents proud. Like, making them proud, making them feel like all the work they put in wasn't in vain and wasn't for no reason. So, you know, okay, I wanted to go to college. For mine, though, was for an arts. It was for fashion marketing and management. It wasn't like, you know. So, I wanted to go to art school, cool, whatever. So, but it was, we had one locally downtown, you know what I mean? Not your major HBCUs or like, you know, well-known schools, but it was an art school. And, you know, it really drew to me and I got accepted. So, that was something that was new for me. It was downtown. I was supposed to move down there, y'all, the day of orientation. Me and my mom go down there. All my stuff in the living room, packed, ready to go. I was going to orientation to talk to the dean and get my keys and get moved in. Y'all, she literally was just like, well, based on the amount of students that enrolled in the school and the funds or whatever, they're closing a couple campuses down, including they closed down the main one. I guess the ones that would drive high traffic and more of an arts location or, you know, demographic is the ones that they kept open. So she was just like, you have the option to go to Virginia Beach, Miami, or Atlanta. So I was Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia. So I was like, first of all, I'm just looking at her like, girl, what? I said I wanted to get out the house and I want to get away from these people. I ain't say I wanted to I just knew I was ready to get away from home. And just like I said, just my relationship with relationships and people around me. Like, I just knew I wanted to get away and just start over and just be free. I always knew I wanted to fly, spread my little wings, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I'm gonna go with Atlanta because not ironically, but it played out for me to go to Atlanta, Georgia for the first time. I was a part of DECA and I went to Atlanta for the first time for ICDC, which was internationals. So I was just like, okay, you know, I love the vibe. It's me. Like, I love it. I'm here for it. Like, and then I was really close to my teacher that was one of our, you know, our coaches and our assistants, and she's actually from Atlanta, so she kind of took us around a little bit too. So we didn't just go to Atlanta, we was in Atlanta, you see what I'm saying? So that was really exciting as well. I've never been to Virginia Beach. I've traveled to Virginia and always give me like a weird gloomy vibe, so I was just like, And then Miami to me was like way too far, being that I didn't like ever leave out of the state yet. Like, live out of state yet. So I'm like, okay, that's pushing it. So I just decided to go Atlanta, Georgia, y'all. So I literally manifested. I kept saying, I can't wait to leave home. You know, kid, you know when you young, I can't wait to leave home. When I graduate, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to college. I'm going to live my life. You know, I got to find me. I got to be free. Like, you know, all the stuff we saying, you know, when you mad, whatever like that. But you got to remember, when you channeling and you have the intention behind it. I've been saying this at least all high school. And I ended up leaving, and I ended up leaving out of state as soon as I graduated. Literally after orientation day, she told me I had to leave. We literally spent 2 days getting me set up. We literally drove there the next day to sign paperwork, get all that done, came back, got all my stuff, went back because they gave us a hotel overnight to finish the paperwork, then came back, got all my stuff, got my keys and everything, and then literally threw everything in my apartment, went to the store and everything, you know, the good little shebang, did all of that, and y'all, I literally had to go to school the next day. Like, that's how fast this process was. You said you wanted to leave and you said you wanted to be on your own. Test number 1. So yes, guys, be very careful what you say because your mouth is very powerful. You know, channel that energy, but just remember your voice is powerful, okay? And words are spells. So I'm just like, okay, I ended up, now I'm in Atlanta. That's where we at. And now we're leading up to the point where I've actually had my spiritual awakening. being in college for me was just like, it was fun. Like, you know, I really was able to find myself. I realized that, you know, the relationship I was in was not it, and it was just not going to, we're just not going to go nowhere for real, and that I needed to focus on myself. I started really focusing on myself and having fun and just, you know, being free, but not going too crazy, but just really exploring, and then, you know, befriending people, you know, meeting people, stuff like that. And then it led up to me taking my health serious and really wanted to lose weight, because I wanted to lose weight. I knew when I graduated high school, like, that was something that was going to become extremely important to me, because school life was just so chaotic for me. So I'm just like, I knew that I was gonna, you know, I knew how I envisioned myself and how my higher self looked, and I was determined to get there. So we started off with the weight loss. I was working out. I'm talking nitty gritty. I'm talking about just running around my apartment complex, really pushing myself. I'm talking about y'all know the moments when it's tough. And then I just kept pushing, and I went from that to working out at, you know, the apartment gym. And then lo and behold, I ended up with a gym membership without me even trying or needing. It just happened, you know, the way my mom did it. It just randomly, my mom was just like, hey, you know, I was in Planet Fitness, and I, you know, was trying to pay my subscription or whatever. So I just decided to go ahead and pay yours. So she got my subscription reinstated or whatever. So I was just like, once again, ironically, now I'm able to go to a gym when I'm taking it serious. So now I'm just like, you know, so this is my life. Fast forward to now, we're getting to the spiritual awakening. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. Spiritual awakening. So, you know, like I said, I befriended some people. So I was friends with this guy. I don't even want to bring that type of stuff in it, because I don't want that to be too controversial based on someone's background. But I was friends with this guy, and, you know, he wasn't from, I'm not sure if he was from Atlanta, but, you know, Atlanta's like a mixing pot, especially for college, because everybody comes from everywhere. Especially with the college I went to, we all came from different places. So he was a friend through a friend. You know, you just hang around people. Fast forward, he became one of my roommates. Okay. And, you know, he was cool, whatever like that. And then he also brought this girl. I wasn't really aware of her like that, like when we was hanging out, until he moved with us. And he was just like, yeah, you know, if you're also looking for another roommate, I got this friend and she's willing to move in, So I'm like, okay, sounds good, you know what I'm saying, on a business note. So I'm like, okay. So he moves in, they move in or whatever. And, well, before she moved in, this is when he just lived there by himself. Everything was going good, y'all. We was, you know, chilling or whatever like that. But I noticed his demeanor, his energy started to change. Like, when he really got to, you know, when you could come over to the crib, everybody chilling, everybody kicking, everybody cooling, everybody going out, we coming back, we chilling. But it's different from when you actually live with someone. So him living with me, realizing how I maneuver, realizing my life, who I am, who my family is, the people I'm surrounded around, like, that's when his vibe and his energy really started to change. And like I said, I was working out, whatever the case may be. And one day he literally just like, and now that I think about it, I feel like it was kind of plotted. But one day he just came to me and he was just like, so why don't we go to the gym? You always talking about going to the gym and how you always go to the gym, but you ain't never been to the gym with me. I ain't never seen you go to the gym. It was kind of like antagonizing me to go. So I'm just like, okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. I'm like, okay, we can go to the gym right now. I was already thinking about going to the gym. I just got finished doing something. Let's go. Like, no problem. You know, that's always already a part of my daily schedule. So let's go ahead. So we go to the gym. Everything good, guys. On top of that, one of my friends that, you know, been around me, he stole a shirt from me that my brother bought for me. So it was really, you know, sentimental for me, because me and my brother are really close. And at the time, I really had love Lil Baby, and it was a Lil Baby shirt. So I'm like, oh. But he stole my shirt, y'all. So I had one friend stole my shirt, and then now this friend is energetically trying to put me in a bad situation. So we at the gym, and I was plotting. I'm like, how do I tell my brother? Like, I don't know how to tell him. So I'm talking to my mom on the phone. I'm like, I really need to tell James that, you know, my shirt got stolen. Like, I don't have it. And that shirt was expensive, y'all. I was like, my shirt, you know, I don't have it no more, like, type stuff. And she was just like, you know, just tell him he gonna understand. And I'm like, well, I need my shirt back. I already told him to give me my shirt back. And I've been reaching out to him. My mom was just like, leave it alone. Don't even worry about it. It's not worth it. So, you know, that's not necessarily what you want to hear, because you're like, girl, I was just trying to get my shirt back. But, you know, because I felt like maybe he had some type of respect for me that, you know, he would bring it back or something. So she just like, leave it alone, you know, and energetically, you never know who you're dealing with. Just leave it alone. It's a shirt. It's tangible. Who cares? I'm like, yeah, I don't. It was just the sentimental value behind it, and the fact of, you supposed to be my friend. I let you in my space, you know. I give when I can, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, and you just steal from me. So I was dealing with that on top of, we leaving the gym, and I'm talking to my mom. We wrapping up the conversation. So my friend, he's in the, like, now mind you, we in the gym, we are doing our own thing. I'm working out by myself. He working out by himself. Now he's walking around like he not really sure what to do, or like he wasn't really comfortable in the environment. Like he was working out, but then at first he was just like walking around type stuff. And I was like, all right, well, we could just do our own thing or whatever. We can meet back at the end. He was like, all right, cool. You know, and then I realized he was watching me a little bit, and I would see him come around, whatever, cool. Then we in the car, y'all. We about to leave. I'm about to pull off from there to get on the I or whatever. And I noticed while I'm on the phone, wrapping up the phone with my mom, he's literally sitting in the passenger side like this. He not saying nothing. Because, you know, a real friend, if they would have been like, yeah, you should probably, you know, they might chime in because this got something to do with your life and your well-being. So, you know, you assume they chime in, or, you know, respect-wise, he not going to chime in because I'm talking to my mother. But he didn't say anything to Rye, y'all. He literally like this. So I'm going back home, you know what I'm saying? I'm a good driver. Okay? I've had my license for 5 years. Been driving a little bit before permit. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? You can't always count on other people's actions, and you still need to make sure you're being clear and level-minded when you're driving, because anything can happen. So fast forward, we driving, y'all. So, you know, we get through. This is Atlanta. This is like 3 midday, trying to go home. So you know it's traffic. You know it's mad cars. Everybody's speeding. I'm this close to getting off on the exit I need to get off. So you know me, I'm you know, speeding. I go to get in the exit to get over, because that, I mean, the line way back there. So I'm like, okay, so I'm already in the line. We sitting here. And soon as we stop, literally, y'all, you cannot make this up. Literally, as soon as we stop the car, as soon as I press the brake and we stopped, the music turned off, frequency went through my ears, and it got super silent, and snap, we got into a car. A car rammed us from the back. And I haven't really been in a car accident before that. You know, I might been in a little minor fender bender. I probably only got, for some reason I noticed that, I think it was when I was younger, I think, you know, you got hit when your mom was in the car, when your mom was driving or whatever, but I haven't really been in like a traumatic car accident, but my mom, my brother, my sister have. So I'm like, okay, y'all, I hit, as the car accident is happening, because mind you, we on the I and we in Atlanta, so you know he was speeding. Like, he was speeding so much when he had like, his foot was all scratched up from trying to brake. And we both had Nissans. So, Nissan Altimas. So I'm like, okay, I think he had a Maxima, but I had Altima. So I'm sitting here, y'all, and as we're getting hit, like I said, music go off, frequency through his ear, frequencies through my ear, and I literally feel like a orb cover me. And as I'm going forward from us getting hit, I just remember looking to the side and seeing his whole interaction through the car accident. I seen the whole, his whole play out. Let me tell you exactly what I saw from the corner of my eye, you know, and to the point, I guess I hit my head. This is us getting hit. Because mind you, all it did was slide his seat up and his knees kind of went inside the glove box. But this is him. So I see his knees going, I see him, but he's sitting like this, y'all. Like he was prepared for this shit. He was sitting like this. So I hit my head on the steering wheel, the airbag come out. I hit the dash so hard that it literally it bent my seat all the way back to the back seat. So I went forward and now I'm all the way in the back seat. I got side airbags. And that was the first time for me. It was just like, wow, like I'm actually hurt. Like I'm actually hurt right now. Like that whole thing was just like traumatic. And then, you know, in my relationship at the time, I felt like, you know, he wasn't really being supportive or saying, you know, like, oh, you all right, I don't know, whatever. But I'm like, no, like my head is actually hurting. Like I actually feel hurt. Like this is crazy. Just looking at how he played out in the car accident. He was acting fine. Oh, you're fine. Just breathe. Da, da, da. Everybody was coming to check on me because it ended up being like a 5-car, 7-car mashup. But I was in direct contact. So everybody else was fine. They was coming back to my car trying to see if I'm good. He acting like nothing happened. This was a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? He like, oh, I'm good. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. He was so quiet. He wasn't really talking. Like, his energy was weird to me. I'm over here like, what? I just got that car like a month ago. You know what I'm saying? That's the only, my mom worked hard to help me get that. My mom worked hard to even get me the car. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking all type of stuff. I ain't got no family. I'm by myself right now, technically. So I'm just like, wow. All that started rushing through my head. So I called my previous roommate, which is like one of my sisters, from school. And she runs to my rescue immediately. Her mom and her sister come and make sure I'm good when my mom come in. But y'all, my mom was trying to talk to him to get information on like the car accident, what's going on, like what's happening. He wasn't really trying to give her no information. He like, well, I don't know. She seemed like she fine, whatever. So, as my mom, everybody who know my mom, like, she's very protective and she always tell you she loves and she's obsessed with her kids. So it's like, that was something that everybody in the family had to calm her down on the way to me. Like, make sure you actually make it to her, okay? Breathe. You know what I'm saying? So they came immediately. But that experience for me, it was eye-opening because I realized that I was energetically in a bad position by someone who had envious, jealous, and evil intents towards me, just based on me being me. And we'll put the nail in the coffin. And how I know this, guys, is after that, my mom took him to make sure he got his stuff, did everything he needed, because he actually ended up going to jail because he had something, like, I think he didn't pay something, or he had to go to court or something, he didn't go, something like that. So they ended up taking him to jail. So my mom went and, got him, make sure he got his stuff, all type of different stuff, until his mom came, because she lived a little bit north of where we lived at. So y'all, my mom took us out to eat. We went to the movies, y'all. He literally made a big fit about the movie. Like, he went in a movie by himself, and we went to the other movie with just us. And mind you, my mom paid for everything. He just like, no, I don't want to watch that movie. That's childish to go watch an animated movie. The movie we was watching, it was childish. Okay. That's cool. I don't necessarily remember both of the movies we was watching, so don't worry about it. But I think the movie he watched was Toy Story. So for him to say that our movie was childish, I was just like, you really make it, like, you really showing yourself right now. Like, you really showing your true colors. I hope you know that. Like, it's very evident. So let me not get too wrapped up in the story. But the reason why I'm telling the story so in detail is because this leads up to my spiritual awakening. So, blah, blah, blah. We at the restaurant, y'all. Why we got to go to the restaurant that Kayla want to go to? You just want to go where you want to go? No, they're asking me, love, because we live here. So we would know where to eat. And they're my family. So I would know what they want to eat and what they wouldn't want to eat. Like, come on. Is he serious right now? So, and he's texting me while we at the table, trying to be petty. Like, I see you right there. You look a little upset. Like, trying to send me pictures of myself on the phone. Like, y'all, real heavy entity vibes. Are you feeling me? Okay? Like I said, I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to share. And I know for a fact. Okay? So, fast forward to all that. So, then that stuff playing out, my mom just had, like I said, I got in a car accident. I was really hurt. I didn't have no family that lived there. And I was in a condition to where I needed to be rehabilitated. I need to go through rehabilitation. So, I just made the decision to go back home, and he kind of screwed me with the living situation, the way he went about that. He was just being weird. Like, he helped me make my intro for my very first intro I made for my YouTube channel. He actually made it. And then literally after the whole situation happened, he deleted it, and he tried to, like, because he shared it with me. At that time I wasn't really privy on stuff. I'm still learning. We work hard. Like, we had visuals. We was on the top of buildings in the city. You know what I'm saying? Channeling the vibes. Y'all, he just deleted it. He was salty and he just deleted it. And the only copy I had was very, 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 very scratchy. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll do another one. I don't energetically want something like that attached to my work anyway. So, because he did like videography and stuff like that. So, but yes, guys, that's for that story. So, like I said, my mom, she literally called her sisters and was like, if I leave her here, I feel like they're genuinely going to try to kill her. Now, the reason why I don't want to really bring up their backgrounds is because their backgrounds has involvement of how I know that they were spiritually aware that they could do harm against me. So let's say that for better lack of words. Him and the new roommate that I told you he brought up never heard of this girl while we was hanging out, and then she just popped up to live with us. So, I didn't meet her before. We started hanging out before she moved in so I can get to know her, but never even heard of this girl. She never been around us as a group, so that was my first time. But yeah, anyway, so my mom was like, I got to bring her home. And it was like, if you feel like that, you got to go home. And I'm just like, I mean, regardless, it would have made more sense for me to go home. I mean, they can't just stay in Atlanta the whole time till I get better. You see what I'm saying? So I just had to make the executive decision. And honestly, y'all, I really felt like I was a failure, that my life was over. I felt like I was giving up on myself. I just felt like I'm actually hurt right now and critical. Like my head is hurting. I kind of lost my memory a little bit for a second. And when I say I lost my memory, I literally kind of lost. It's like it knocked it's literally like it knocked out the stuff that I don't need in my life. Like stuff that I learned in school, different stuff like that. Like it literally just went poof. But when it comes to like my memories of my childhood, we ain't missing a beat. You feel me? So yes, we decided to come back. And, you know, I got to a really low point when I got back home. Like I said, I was really depressed. I felt like I was a failure. I felt like I gave up on life. Like I was hanging out with another entity, come to find out, you know. Y'all, and the friend who stole my shirt, y'all, he turned out to kill somebody. He turned out to kill a girl because her and the roommate, I guess him and the roommate wanted to be together and she was jealous or whatever. Whatever the case may be, I don't know, because they ain't got nothing to do with me. But y'all, they had him posted in the shade room and on the news in the shirt he stole from me. Yes, I cannot make this up. But anyway, so I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, you know, I'm hanging out with another entity. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit older, but and he's good with it too. But I'm only hanging out with him because my friend from high school actually lives with him. So, you know, we all hanging out, whatever, drinking a lot, chilling, just going out. Like I literally would just go over there almost every day just to get away from thinking about where I feel like my life was at. Because like I said, it's ultimately making my parents proud and me just really channeling the energy I want for myself and working hard for myself. I felt like I genuinely failed. Like I genuinely hit rock bottom. Like I would try to work out every once in a while. You know, I would make sure I would still be working out and stuff like that. And then I ended up going back to work and stuff. Ended up going back to work a month and some change after I got back at the job I had before I left. You know, I ended up going there and she was like, yeah, come back. So I ended up going back to my job. So I didn't know, I had a job when I got back, but I was not happy in life. Like, it's gonna be real hard not to even make this video that long, y'all, because, and this is just part one. Literally the day I was coming back home with my stuff, there was this dude from Charleston that was where I'm from, which is where I ended up going back home to. This dude, he literally, he would be, you know, he would be intrigued by me. You know, you paying attention. Like, I see you, but I don't see you because you ain't really putting in no effort. So, but he finally tried to talk to me, whatever. And I told him, like, listen, I'm not trying to talk to nobody who's in a whole different state. And because I'm mentally not prepared for that. I'm not ready for that. On top of, you know, I feel like, you know, this stuff I need to work on. And I don't really trust somebody to be in a relationship out of state. And I kept it real with him. So I'm like, no, we cannot start a relationship. No, we cannot talk. Let's not even start the whole thing if we can't do it for real. Y'all, fast forward to the day I was leaving. I texted him. I was like, look, I'm coming back home. So I'm just texting you right now so we can just start communicating or whatever. And we'll just see where it goes. Like, intuitively, I just felt like I need to do that. Now, mind you, in the midst of me being in school, I had a lot of long time to get. I wasn't, doing crazy stuff. I was just me. I'm watching my friends do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I wasn't really trying to, you know, I was really just doing introspection and really trying to like be comfortable with myself and find myself. So I had time to like really get to know myself, but I went through a traumatic experience. So it was like I had to deal with that as well. But I told him, I said, listen, I'm coming back. We can link up if you want to. No problem. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't say all that. I just told him, you know, you can have my number. We can communicate. The communication was amazing. The conversation was amazing. Just from the moment that, you know, we started talk, the moment he tried to get my attention, you know, the usual, can I take you on a date? I'm like, no, you cannot. I'm like, do you even know me? You don't know nothing about me and you just want to take me on a date. I don't know anything about you. You just want to take me on a date. So y'all, in the beginning, I used to call him resume because he literally gave me a whole resume on who he is, what he do. So that is part one of Spiritually Conscious and Awakening, the journey from the start to now. I just want to give you guys some insight on my childhood and really up to the point where I had my spiritual awakening. So in the next part, I will be explaining to you guys my current relationship, you know, my interest in spirituality when it comes to like, you know, tangible items and different things like that. That will be discussed in the next part. So that is it for this first part. And like I said, that whole experience from needing to come home, from having to come home and just literally being hurt that bad and then the trauma of physically being hurt, the trauma of emotionally and mentally being hurt from how I feel about myself now, from the effects of being physically hurt. Now I am mentally just in a dark, I wouldn't even say dark. Now I'm just in a weird spot. So I'm gonna explain to you guys how I go from that to where I'm at in my journey now. That is it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, I am not trying to convince you. I don't want you to believe, well, I want you to believe in me, but we need to believe in each other. We've started this spiritual journey the moment we've entered this world. So it's your job, and honestly, it's ultimately your mission to spiritually evolve in this lifetime. So I'm going to continue to share that with you guys. I just wanted to get a little bit open with you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful day filled with peace and positivity and the vibes. We got the anti-jealousy incense going right here. You know what I'm saying? We blocking all negative energy. Do you feel me?